Hey, tribe. Hey, tribe. We are live. Before we get into the challenge, I'll explain everything, what we're doing, and I got powder all over me. I am in Thailand right now, and this is called cooling powder because it's so hot and humid in Thailand that after I take a shower, it kind of helps cool down your body so you don't get heat rashes all over and stuff like that. So that's what's all over me. But anyway, I was going to do this challenge kind of by myself in private because I haven't done it for a long time. I've done these challenges before. These are 3-day writing challenges where we write an affirmation, we write a phrase over and over and over again. And this will take probably anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. So even right now, just getting ready to go live, I'm human. I kind of got out of the mood to do it. But when you commit to a challenge, you personally commit to it. You got to hold yourself to it. So even I'm kind of saying that because you might be going through it right now. And even if it's late, okay, it might be your bedtime because I'm in Thailand. It's almost noon my time. So even if you repeat this and go to bed and do this challenge when you wake up, and you can actually rewatch this replay here and actually do it. I'm actually going to do this challenge in this live stream. So it's going to be a boring live stream once I get done talking here. But let's kind of get rocking and rolling. So let me explain this, how to do it and what we're doing. It's simple. It's easy. So usually what I do is get a notebook, and what we're doing is, and I did a pinned comment what we're going to write, and I wrote it right up here. You can kind of see the first line is the affirmation, and write it actually small. I know the tricks of the trade here. Okay. I know like this isn't about writing gigantic and writing big. So what we're writing is money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And we're writing it over and over, one per line, until you fill up the whole page. And that's not all. You're doing the front and the back. So you're filling up this page and the back page, each line. So I don't know how many lines are on a page, if it's like 27 lines, 25 lines. So you're writing it like 50 or 60 times over and over and over and over and over again. But what I found was I've done these a lot in the past. And this is the good news. Every time I've done this challenge for 3 days, what I wrote comes true. Okay. So I'm just saying that I'm not putting in hypotheticals. I'm just saying from my own experience, everything I have written, I've done these challenges. I've done 3-day challenges like this. I've done 5-day challenges like this. This is kind of like a hybrid of a 3-3-3 technique or the 5-5-5 technique. So, but it's kind of a hybrid. I kind of just write it. I don't write it for only 3 times. I write it over and over and over and over and over. But what I found was like in the beginning, when I write it out like this, it's not memorized. So when I'm writing each line, I'm kind of looking up and I'm reading it to myself each time I write it. But once you kind of get down like half a page or a page, you'll find yourself that it's memorized. Okay. But I'm repeating it to myself every time I write it. But what's kind of unique, what happens, and this kind of happens on day 2, is that you find yourself writing this phrase over and over and over, but you're writing it subconsciously, meaning like my mind will drift off, but I'm still writing just by subconscious habit. That's how well it's memorized. Um, so that's kind of the lowdown. It's a very, very simple exercise. The only thing is it does take some time. It will take you anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending upon how fast you write. Like I said, I kind of got out of the mood of doing it because I was kind of setting up this live. But again, we're doing this for 3 days. I'm going to go live for 3 days. I'm going to do this with you. I'm not going to turn off the live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the microphone a little bit so you're not going to be able to hear me talk or anything. And it's going to be focus time. So check out the pinned comment just in case you're new here. Even if it's bedtime for you right now, and you want to start this challenge tomorrow, what I would do is right before bed, just repeat it to yourself. Just repeat, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere as you fall asleep tonight. Then when you get up tomorrow, start this challenge. But anyway, let's get rocking and rolling. And also, I didn't point out, when I do a challenge like this, I usually start with a brand new tablet. I don't just grab a piece of paper where you just throw around. So usually this tablet don't have nothing else written in it. It's just for this challenge or challenges I do like that. But anyway, let's get rocking and rolling. I've talked enough about this. I've talked about 5 minutes about it. So let's get rocking and rolling. I'm going to move the mic a little bit. I'll put it over here where it's at least in my face, where you can at least hear me. And let's get rocking and rolling. Got my notebook here. I'm just moving around some stuff on my desk, so I got a little bit of room. And let's get rocking. So I'm going to write it over and over and over again, every line again. I'll flip over the page, do the back page as well. And that's it. And then we'll do the same thing tomorrow. But like I said, if you're jumping on here, I've done these in the past a lot. And every time I've done it, anything I've written down, it's come true. And I think the reason why it comes true is because when you write it over and over and over and you find yourself getting exhausted writing it, it's when you get into that exhausted mode, when it really clicks to your subconscious mind, where you're kind of really over it. That's the key part. That's the key part, baby. So let's get going and let's get rocking. And even right now, as I write this, it's not memorized. Okay. Like I'm basically, as I'm writing, I'm glancing up the line above it so I can remember kind of what the affirmation is. So I'm not even, I got to think as I write. I can't really talk because it's not memorized yet. But really, you want to do the reason why this exercise works, it really starts working once you hit day 2 and day 3, because that's really when it kind of digs a little bit deeper into the subconscious mind, where you're basically writing it. I could basically write this as I talk and I don't have to think about it no more. That's where you have to get. That's why this exercise is so powerful. And by the way, you might get a hand cramp once in a while. You see, like I've been writing for a while. Well, I'm not even down to a half a page yet. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And another reason why I love this affirmation is money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Is that it doesn't cause no conflict with your mind. And what I mean by that, even Joseph Murphy says stuff about this is when you say an affirmation, the reason why the affirmation don't work is because it causes internal conflict. Like when you say that I'm a millionaire, your mind will be like, well, that's not true. You're not a fucking millionaire. I mean, that's basically internal conflict. But when you say money comes to me abundantly and freely, I see it everywhere. Well, your mind kind of grabs a hold of it and basically says, well, technically that's true. You know what I mean? That's why this affirmation is so powerful because it causes no internal conflict. And right now, I am this is only about a quarter of the way done, but because remember, this is my first page. I'm going to flip it over and do the back. And another thing, as I'm writing this, is we extremely underestimate the power of writing. Okay, we're always in our head, but we extremely underestimate the whole concept is taking a pen or a pencil, taking a notebook and actually writing things down. They've done a lot of research about this. What you I forget kind of the stats on this. I apologize, but what you write down, even if you write down your goals, you're way more likely to have that goal come true when you write it down versus not writing it down. And remember, this is day one. We're doing this for 3 days. I will go live for 3 days in a row doing this. And like I said, every time I've done these exercises in the past, what I've wrote down has actually come true. Every single time I've done this exercise. And I'm not joking with that. I'm not making stuff up. Okay, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Maybe I'll try to scoot over so you can actually see me right. Okay, I'm almost done with the front page here. Okay, I am not done, but I got the first page. All it's written out. Now we're going to flip it over. Now, one of the things I want to point out is, I mean, it's still kind of halfway memorized, even though I wrote this sucker like 25 times, whatever, how many times that is basically when I'm writing it, I'm saying it over and over and over in my head. I'll get close to the mic. I'm basically saying it over in my head as I write it. And you won't notice this until you do this the second day or 100% the third day when you sit down to write. You're kind of writing it subconsciously, like you're not even thinking anymore. You don't have to think what you're writing. Okay, you're not, you don't have to think I'm writing it from memory. And that's kind of the precious of this exercise. Once you hit to about day 3, is you're kind of writing it subconsciously. Basically, you get to a point where I could be talking to you and I'm writing at the same time, and I don't have to think about what I'm writing. It's just I'm just writing it, and that's kind of that sweet spot. How you want to get, you want to just write it subconsciously, but it's not going to happen on the first day here, because even for a second, when I this is a blank page, I have to sit here and think, what's the affirmation? What are we writing? You know what I mean? So it's not completely memorized yet. But since I'm starting it over, I'm not looking. So it is kind of memorized, but I had to sit here and think, what am I writing? So what am I writing? Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Make sure my live didn't shut off. YouTube is probably like, Chad, you're not talking. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And another thing, what you'll kind of notice, even with me doing this, is especially by not today, not this one. Maybe you'll notice it tomorrow or see 100% by the third day is like when I want to like tell you guys something or have a thought, I literally have to stop writing so I can speak. I can't do both at the same time because I have to focus on what I'm writing because again, I'm not writing it by subconscious habit. And what we're trying to get to is writing it by subconscious habit. So you'll notice it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, but 100% you'll probably notice by day 3, as I'm writing, I'm going to be able to talk at the same time. You know what I mean? And not just repeat the affirmation. But right now, since this is the first day, I can't do that because I got to focus on what I'm writing. Because pretty much I'm repeating it to myself in my head as I write. But when I've done this in the past, see, when I start talking, I mess up writing. But when I've done this in the past, it will literally get to a point where you're writing and your mind just drifts off, thinking about totally something else, but you're still writing the same thing over and over and over. 4 more times, baby. 4 more times. Okay, one more time. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Woo! Okay, I got to wiggle my fingers there for a second. My hand is kind of cramping up. Okay, this is the back page. So you can see I wrote the front and the back. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And we're going to do this for 3 days. And like I said, as we wrap this up, is I'm trying to see what time it is. So it's like 20 video's been going 27 minutes. So we started about 5 minutes in. So it took me a good 20 minutes. And I know I stopped a couple times and made some remarks, but it took me 20 minutes. So I was kind of right. I said anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, but I'm more lean towards 20 minutes because I've done this before in the past. But since the affirmation was a little bit short, I wasn't too sure. So I mean, this is this is a 20-minute exercise. This isn't this isn't a quickie. But anyway, as we wrap this up, like I said in the beginning, just in case you're jumping on, is every single time I've done these exercises in the past, and I'm doing kind of a combination of the 3-3-3 technique, 5-5-5 technique. But what I'm doing, I'm kind of doing a hybrid. I'm taking an affirmation or something that I want. Okay, I want to happen, and I'm writing it over and over and over and over and over again. Front page, back page. I'm doing that 3 days in a row. And every time I've done this, 100%, not 90%, not sometimes, 100%, it has come true. So if it's bedtime for you, you're jumping on, you can repeat this affirmation. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Drift off to sleep. Then we will wake up in the morning, do this exercise, and I'll be live tomorrow for day 2. We do this 3 days in a row, even though it's a little bit boring, but I'm doing it with you. But other than that, friends, tribe, that's it. Just wanted to do this challenge with you guys. And I didn't want to do it by myself. Like I said, I was going to do this by myself. So I thought, well, I might as well just jump on live and do it with everybody. But anyway, remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow in day 2. Let me see how to turn this baby off.